Today is September 15, 2020. My name is Charles Suter. In the next 5 to 6 minutes, I'll be presenting the topic, Reframing for Problem Solving. This presentation is focused on those times when a problem seems overwhelming and unsolvable, and you're stymied as to how to deal with it. Reframing a difficult problem often leads to new breakthrough insights leading to a resolution. Problems are often just a matter of definition, wherein reframing your situation from a different point of view gives you additional options for dealing with it. Problems or adversity are often due to a faulty or biased perception of the situation. Many different people faced with the same situation might describe it vastly different, depending on how the situation impacts them personally. So the fastest way to solve what seems like an intractable problem is to reframe it from the original statement of a problem. People are too hasty in putting a negative spin on what is initially seemed as a problem, which affects both their ability to find solutions and their confidence in their abilities to solve it. So my main message here is every adversity can be perceived in many different ways. And my first proposition associated with the main message is that there are more than one way to view a problem. A problem is not necessarily terrible unless you reframe it that way. You don't have to be upset even if you have a problem. Becoming upset is just a solution that leads to no useful result. Problems are adverse interpretations of your personal circumstances. I think Shakespeare said it best when he was quoted, "Nothing is neither good nor bad, but thinking makes it so." If that's the case, then consider changing your thinking. Adverse situations are perceived as problems in getting what you wanted from a situation. Since there are more than one way to solve a problem or get what you want, begin your problem solving by searching for different ways to define any adverse situation. By adding a more positive spin on any situation or looking at it from a different point of view, you gain, number one, a better clarity, not only on the present and future impacts of an adverse situation, but also greater optimism that you can either find a satisfactory resolution or at least find a way to accept the situation without undue emotional distress. Proposition 2. When you cannot find a good solution, reframe your problem. So the very first step when a problem seems intractable, consider reframing it. To reframe is to choose a different way of perceiving the problem. Is to apply your rational conscious mind to reconsider your initial gut reactions. To reframe a problem is to consider it in terms of what is your desired outcome, an outcome that is actionable, something that you can readily do and control to give you relief. The more ways you can find to reframe any adverse situation, ideally with greater positivity, the better the odds of you finding an approach that best resolves the adversity and getting most of what you want. Proposition 3. How to pick the most useful framing of your perceived problem. Well, first of all, you're going to brainstorm many different ways of perceiving your problem by answering what I consider to be why questions. Why do I consider this to be a problem? Why is this particular situation a problem? Remember, nature is neutral, neither for nor against you. So whatever your why answers, and there may be more than one, ask yourself why each of these answers is a problem. When you've exhausted all the why problems, examine each answer and assess which one seems like it offers the best insight and recourse. Now here's a standard way to reframe any adverse situation. I feel X. Maybe you feel upset, frustrated, because of Y. Here's where you describe an undesirable situation. For instance, my boyfriend hasn't called me in the last 3 days. Followed by, and I want Z. This is to state your preferences. In this particular case, maybe your preference is to remain close and keep a loving relationship with your boyfriend. So, to conclude, choose a reframed perception that best permits a resolution to your problem. Your initial perception might be due to a faulty or improper framing of the situation. That is always a possibility, but you just got it wrong. Perhaps your original perception is too negative or too extreme. By finding a better, more rational, positive, or optimistic perception, it might reveal an easier solution that gives you a good enough resolution so you can take appropriate action. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.